Mother-in-law tried to kidnap my daughter because of Santa. My mother-in-law, or Mill for short, doesn't like me. She's the kind of mom who doesn't want her son to be taken away by another woman, so she doesn't like that I'm married to him. It doesn't help that we don't share the same religion and we don't want to baptize our children. My husband and I agreed on that. We decided it was best for our family. To get under my skin, she often sends me Bible verses and messages about how wives should listen to their husbands. I asked her nicely to stop sending them, but she got really upset and yelled about how I was refusing to be saved by her. Since then, I've ignored her messages. My daughter, who's 4 years old, loves Christmas. She loves putting up decorations and making cookies with me. This year, she gets to pick out the Christmas tree. It's so cute how excited she is. She's been talking about it since July. My daughter also believes in Santa Claus. She has a whole list of things she wants him to get her, which is actually really funny. She isn't spoiled at all. She just writes down random things she sees at the store, or stuff we already have in our house. She even wrote down our dog's name on her list. It's like she likes writing, or making me write, things down for him. My Mill was at our house today, and my daughter was asking me to add another thing to her Santa list. My Mill heard her and told her right away that Santa Claus isn't real. She said that my husband and I are the ones who buy the presents. My daughter was really upset, but my Mill seemed happy about making everyone upset. I told my Mill to get out of my house and never come back. I said she wasn't allowed around my baby anymore. She tried to argue that she was doing us a favor by telling my daughter that Santa Claus isn't real. She said that it wasn't good for my daughter to thank someone who doesn't exist for nice things. I told her that was pretty funny coming from someone who has spent their whole life praying to a guy who also doesn't exist. I also said that I was sorry she had let the devil fill her heart with hate, then I slammed the door in her face. My husband agrees with me completely and is really upset that his mom ruined something so special for our daughter. He's also getting texts and calls from his siblings saying I was mean and that I should apologize. I'm so mad about what happened that I can't even think straight. I don't think I did anything wrong. My Mill went too far, and I don't want her to have anything to do with my daughter or any other children we have in the future. I just wanted to vent about this. I don't need advice. And NBSP, since my Mill told my daughter that Santa Claus isn't real, things have gotten worse. We've told her she can't see our daughter, and we've kept our distance, but she keeps trying to see our daughter anyway. She started sending our daughter gifts, but she writes, "From the real Santa," or, "Grandma will see you soon," on the gift tags. It's clear that the gifts are from Amazon, and they just come in a plain box. We've been saving all of the boxes and tags and giving away the gifts to charities. It's better for a child who doesn't have much to get them, rather than my daughter. My husband's sister also called us and said that my Mill was thinking about killing herself because we've been keeping her away from my daughter. She said that we took away her only happiness. I told her that if my Mill was really feeling like that, she needed to go to a mental hospital. I'm not going to let someone manipulate me like that. It seemed like maybe my Mill was finally getting the message that her actions were the cause of all this. We hadn't heard from her in a week. We thought maybe she was calming down. We forgot she's allowed to pick my daughter up from school. Yesterday, the school called and said that my Mill was on her way to pick my daughter up for a surprise adventure. She told the office that she was on her way to pick her up and that they should keep my daughter in the office until she got there. They were supposed to leave the school right away. I was at work when I got the call, and I immediately rushed to the school. I called my husband and told him what was happening. He made it to the school before me. When I got there, the police were questioning my Mill. Her car was packed full of things. It was clear that she planned to take my daughter away for a long time. She was actually trying to steal our daughter because of Santa. The police took her away and her car got towed. We made eye contact for a second as they were putting her into the police car. She was trying to be angry but she quickly started to cry. She was crying even more when the door to the police car closed. I don't know how things work in court, but I hope that they put her in a mental health hospital instead of jail. She really needs help. We filed for a court order to stop her from contacting us, and we told the school not to let her pick my daughter up. My husband's siblings are really upset by what happened, and they told us they never thought things would get this bad. They are all on our side now. It's annoying that it had to get this bad before they believed us, but at least everyone is on the same page now. We didn't tell my daughter what happened at school because we wanted her to have a normal day. It's been really hard to try to fix the damage that my Mill caused. We tried a bunch of different things, but my daughter doesn't seem as excited about Santa Claus anymore. She hasn't added anything to her wish list. My brother-in-law said he'll dress up as Santa Claus and get caught leaving presents under the tree. My husband and I really appreciate that and we're looking forward to it. We're also going to send my daughter a letter from Santa Claus that says how excited he is to visit her and our dog this year. I'll let everyone know how that works out in the next update. And NBSP, it's been a few weeks since my Mill tried to take my daughter away. Things have been calmer since then, but there's still a lot to deal with. My Mill is still in the mental health hospital, and she has a court date in a couple of weeks. It feels strange to say this, but I do feel a little sorry for her. She's not all bad, and she really does love my husband. I think she's just confused and scared. She doesn't know how to deal with the fact that her son is growing up and has a family of his own. My husband has been so supportive. He understands how scared and angry I was, and he's been there for me and our daughter. He even started therapy with me, so we can talk about what happened and how to deal with the stress. I really couldn't have made it through this without him. Our daughter is slowly starting to feel better about Christmas again. We talked to her about how Santa Claus is a special story that people love to tell. We explained that he doesn't actually exist, but that the feeling of Christmas is still real. We started making decorations together and baking cookies, and she seemed to enjoy it. I think part of her still remembers what happened. I know I will never forget it. I still get flashbacks sometimes. I get this feeling of cold fear like when you're at the top of a roller coaster and you're about to plunge down. But I know that everything will be okay. We're going to be okay. We're together, and that's what matters most. It feels like every time we're starting to feel a bit better, something else happens. Yesterday, a friend called me to say that someone had put a note on the bulletin board at her church, asking for help in getting my Mill out of the hospital. The note said that the real Santa Claus wanted to help my Mill so she could be reunited with her granddaughter. It's insane, I know, but it feels like some kind of twisted game. This person who wrote the note didn't even know my daughter's name. It feels so creepy. My friend said she reported the note to the church elders and that they took it down. It makes me wonder who is doing this. It's frustrating because it just feels like my MIL's problem has become a bigger problem. I just want her to get help, but some people think this is all a joke. It doesn't feel funny to me. My husband said to ignore it and not worry about it, that it was just someone trying to stir up trouble. But it makes me nervous to think that someone would try to get her out of the hospital. What would she do if she got out? Would she try to kidnap my daughter again? I don't know. I just hope we can move on from this, and my daughter can forget all about it. We don't need any more problems. It feels like my family has gone through enough already. I hope things will calm down soon. It's been a few more weeks and I still get a nervous feeling whenever I see a Christmas tree. My Mill is still in the hospital, but her court date is in a couple of days. It's strange, but I don't even want to think about what they might do to her. I want to just put that out of my mind, but sometimes I get really scared. What if they let her out? What if she comes after us again? My daughter seems okay. She likes making cookies with me, and she still talks about Santa Claus. She remembers the presents and the cookies, the Christmas tree. She says that even though Santa Claus isn't real, she knows that he's still a part of Christmas. I have been having trouble sleeping and I keep replaying those terrible memories of the day the police took my Mill away. My husband says I need to let it go, that I am obsessing about this, but I can't. The court date is almost here. I just can't seem to let it go. My husband's siblings have been more helpful. They've sent gifts and offered to help with whatever we need. Sometimes I worry that they're doing all this just because they feel bad that they didn't believe us in the beginning. There are days where it seems like everything will be okay. My daughter seems happy and my husband is always here for me. There are other days when I feel like everything is going to be bad again. Maybe I am overreacting. Maybe I shouldn't worry about things so much, but I don't want to end up with a feeling of dread when I see a Christmas tree or a candy cane. I don't want to live like that. Sometimes, I think about going to visit my Mill at the hospital. I know she's confused and needs help, but I'm still so angry. I'm afraid that I would end up saying something mean. And NBSP. Yesterday, I went to visit my Mill at the hospital. I knew I had to see her before the court date. I have been putting it off, but I couldn't do it anymore. The anger that I've been feeling, it felt heavy. I needed to talk to her face to face. I brought a bunch of cookies from our favorite bakery. When I walked in, she looked a little surprised. She sat up straight in her bed, kind of like she was ready for a fight. We talked for a long time, and I finally told her how I felt. I told her about how I'm sorry for all the times she sent me messages that I didn't read. I told her how upset I was that she told my daughter Santa Claus wasn't real. I said that I didn't think that she was trying to hurt my daughter, but that she had been really mean. She looked down at the cookies and started to cry. She apologized and said that she's been a terrible mother-in-law and that she doesn't know why she's acted so mean. She said she was really scared about her son and his family, that she didn't know how to deal with it. She said she wanted to be a part of our family, but didn't know how. She wanted to see her grandchild and to be a grandmother. I hugged her and I think she cried even more. She's so small and she looked so lost and confused. I actually felt bad for her. After our visit, my husband and I both decided that we needed to figure out a way to see if we could make things work with her. I think it would be hard to forgive her, and we still don't know if we want her to have much of a relationship with our daughter. But we do need to be able to communicate better, even if it's just for our husband. He loves his mom, and I know this is tough for him. This whole thing has been such a mess. I just hope we can all get along, eventually. And NBSP.